Are you taping, baby? Baby, are you taping? Oh, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Baby, baby, come on. Baby, come on. Baby, come on. Everybody come on.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again. It is Mac and Free right here on your Saturday, but our names are not important. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. Free, what's going on, man? We got a lot on the plate for everybody. You know, it's
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm in the building. I'm ready, baby. Let's do it.
we're still on quarantine, but let's start with saving the dance for last. We're going to lead. Sorry about that. We're going to lead with that, which is The Last Dance, which aired last Sunday. We talked about what it would be, and I remember the soundbite. I should have pulled the soundbite I had from the show last week, which I said, hey, I'm eager to find out how they're going to find a way to spend 10 hours talking about the last season of the Chicago Bulls. And man, when I tell you they have not disappointed, they have not disappointed. I was eager to see it. I came, I saw, they've conquered. What'd you think about The Last Dance, Free?
I thought it was good. It was a good introduction to just the state of Chicago, with the Bulls basketball franchise, with Michael Jordan coming into it.
Right.
And it's good. It was good to see the backgrounds of some of the players that drew you in to the personality of everybody. And then when you get into the business of it, and you see some of the inner struggles with management and Michael Jordan and Pippen, it was like, whoa, this, it wasn't no honeymoon in Vegas like we assume when people are winning and on top. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't disappoint. I'm looking forward to the next 2 episodes tomorrow.
Yeah, what I'm not looking forward to is the social media vandals who have already hijacked the fact that the rest of the 8 episodes have been leaked. And there's a little bit of spillage about that, but it's still.
Well, see, it's on, and see, that's the thing on overseas. And I misstated this last week when I said it was going to Netflix. That was for international viewers, non U.S. viewers. So apparently, I guess they released all 10 on Netflix like it was there, and somebody got it out. But I'm not going to jump the gun. I'm gonna watch them as they come, because I don't want to mess around and spoil it for anybody myself. Because we face a lot of temptations while we're isolated.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is very, very true. I think ultimately what you'll get from this is, it's a double down on misinterpretation of information for one. There are going to be a lot of people stuck in nostalgia that are going to continue to try to teach their kids about what they don't know about basketball, but say that they do. And they're going to be like, look, see, I told you Jordan was God. And then we're going to remember, and we're going to ignore some of the things that are true about Jordan's career with the things that, like, we'll get that mixed up. Some things that were true with things that aren't true. Like, a lot of that's going to happen, but nostalgia is in full-blown effect at this point, man, where people are going back like, yeah, I remember that. Oh, man, that was, nobody could make you feel the way he made you feel at that time. And that's not to say that Michael Jordan wasn't a back, because, man, goodness gracious, like, if you forgot, Like there were games they were showing in this episode that I thought were going to have like Michael Jordan happy endings where he absolutely exploded, And then that segment would end with, they lost by 13. Like, dang.
Oh, hold on. But that right there goes into your Michael Jordan tear down mode because I'm pro LeBron.
It does not
listen.
Because LeBron had those games too. But what I'm saying is, what would happen is it would grab my nostalgia for, oh man, yeah, I remember this. But what I realized when I watched the show is I remembered what he did in that moment. I just didn't remember that they didn't win. And like they were showing a series where Jordan completely went off, and I was like, man, yeah, I remember that. And then come to find out, like they got swept. I was like, I didn't even pay any attention.
But you do know. Now let's be real. That was his first two.
First off.
That was his first 2 years, which they weren't even a playoff team. He got them to the playoffs as an AC. 1 year he only played the first 2 games of the season, broke his foot, came back on limited minutes, 14 a game.
14 a game, you're right, 7.5.
And got them into the last playoff spot. So you can't sit here and be like, man, they still got swept.
No,
they weren't even supposed to be in it.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
And look who's playing with it.
But that's not what I'm saying.
You leave Michael Jordan alone, you leave him alone.
No, don't misinform the public of what I'm saying. Don't misdirect what I'm saying. I myself got caught in this.
But that's what you're supposed to do.
And would be like, oh man, yeah, I remember this game. And then I would be like, oh dang, I didn't even realize they had lost. Because what he had done was so spectacular. It was, I didn't even realize they had lost until I watched the episode. But it brings
I get you that.
But it brings me to the same thing since we're doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
LeBron James.
Oh, Lord.
LeBron James.
We're gonna go ahead and go there. Because what you just took me to, not the series, but what you just took me to, is I was saying the same thing about him then that I say about LeBron now, and I'd say this all the time, the greatest playoff series I ever saw was LeBron James Golden State the first year, because he was all world, and we hadn't, still to this day, we have not seen anything like that. Even watching The Last Dance, we had not seen anything like what he did. We have not seen anything like what he did in that series.
What?
For the series, Free. Not for, and I'm talking about LeBron James led everybody and everything in that series. That's number one. So let's start there. Number two, he averaged 40 points and 19 rebounds and 10 assists through the first 4 games. We have not seen anything like that. Once again, like I said, it was for that series. But my point, because I don't want you to pull me away from my point, getting stuck on that statement alone. My point
I just threw it out there so you could talk about it, because you've been going back and forth with as soon as you went to the nostalgic point, I said, he been arguing with them, the Jordan people. Go ahead. So I wanted you to get a chance to air it out.
But my overall point is this, and this is what I've always maintained throughout the course of the Michael Jordan, LeBron James argument is this one point. We haven't seen anything remotely close to Michael Jordan in terms of how they impacted a league, until we saw LeBron James. Because the only thing comparable to what Michael Jordan did to those Celtic squads and what he did to some of those other squads where they were just like, man, we couldn't do nothing about it. We hadn't seen it again until LeBron James. And you can't find, God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant, Mamba mentality, all that stuff is true. But he was not in this era. He was not in the league with these two. And that's the point. That's ultimately the point that I'm making. I've always said they maintain 2 different trophy cases, but on the same shelf. They're just in 2 different trophy cases.
Hold on. Hold on. So you're saying in regards to the Black Mamba, the competition was different for both
No.
eras?
What I'm saying is, in terms of performing in such a way that takes you back to an all-world performance, we didn't get that out of him the way we got it. And make sure you understand each word. The way we got it out of Jordan and LeBron is different. It's the reason why the argument will never die. It was different the way it happened with Jordan and LeBron versus how it happened for Kobe. And I see you twisting up your beard. Come on with it, because we got a few more minutes.
I'll give you that. I'm gonna let that rest because I don't want to stay on the topic too long because this wasn't what it was meant. I just wanted to give you a chance to air it out because I know you've been going back and forth with them.
Yeah.
They pulled you into it. I'm gonna give you the credit this time. They pulled you into it, coming at you. But to say that, because I look at the body of work of Kobe, and I don't know how you don't put him on that same shelf. I'll give you Kareem. I'll even throw Wilt the Stilt in there.
Kobe falls on the shelf.
But Kobe's got to be there.
Kobe falls on the shelf with Scottie. Scotty's just that. Because again, there's a to me, and I think I said this last week, but if I didn't, quote me now. To me, they're different tiers. On the top tier stands 3 people and 3 people alone. On that top tier is Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There's nobody else on that tier with them. They stand on that tier alone. The argument for basketball's Mount Rushmore for the 4th person is an open debate. For the first 3, to me, there's no debate. They make it. There's no question about it. You can't find anybody during their era or at their position ever more dominant than those 3. You can't do it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar owns the points record for a reason. It's a hard one to debate in there. So it's the age old, the Hall of Fame has different rooms in it. These 3 are in rooms by themselves. Like they can't even share the room. They're in 3 rooms by themselves. Anybody else you want to add to that 4th section of the Mount Rushmore is up for debate. And then you have Kobe in that 2nd tier, and that's where Kobe, Tim Duncan, Charles Barkley, Kevin Garnett, there's a lot of great players, Scottie Pippen, fall on that 2nd tier. Because again, as Dennis Rodman said, when Michael Jordan wasn't in the league, when he wasn't in the league anymore, Scottie Pippen was the best player in the world in the NBA. And I dare somebody to.
Are you forgetting Akeem the Dream? Are you forgetting Akeem the Dream, who led his team to back-to-back titles?
That is a
finals that Scottie could propel his team to.
That is a very good point because I said I don't think the Bulls beat the Rockets those 2 years. So you absolutely and he went first. And he was the first pick the year Jordan came out.
Well, but
even the Bulls said that Kareem, and even the Bulls said that if they had the first pick, it was going to be Kareem coming off. Even they said that.
Yeah, they said because he was a 7-footer, and you go for 7 footers. And then Portland the year before drafted Drexler, so they were going for a big man too. So it just fell right. But to that point.
Wait a minute. I want you to hold that point. We're going to take a short, quick musical break. We're going to come back. We're going to pick that up. And we're going to talk about the NFL draft and some more COVID-19 stuff.